Cool. Thanks, Jack Brophy, and welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 174. Well done, Ross.
Thanks.
You got it in one.
I know, yeah.
I'm Chris Trott.
Hi, Chris Trott.
Hi, Alex Smith. Who are you?
I'm Alex Smith.
Oh, hi, Alex Smith.
Hi.
Who's this
Hi,
other guy?
everybody else.
Who's that other guy?
I'm Ross Hornby.
Hi,
Right.
Ross Hornby. That's Ross
Formerly
Hornby.
known as Broth.
You switched back.
Are you
again.
gone back?
It's
Have you got a symbol?
interchangeable. No, the broth symbol.
The broth
just a-
symbol.
A hot soup.
Skin on
soup bowl,
soup.
with a little heat mark on it.
Any skin on the
Bit
top?
of broth. Always a little bit of skin on top.
A little bit of skin
Really?
on
It's been
top.
sat out for a minute.
Ah,
Fucking
Yeah, you
hell.
can peel it
Good.
off. Some people like the skin.
I like the skin on like custard and rice pudding.
There's
Yeah, sometimes.
This is good. This is a great start to the Hat Chat
Yeah.
because it's been requested that we do a wholesome Hat Chat with no negativity.
Oh, really?
Because some people need to pick me
crazy.
up today. So,
Right.
fucking hell, it's going to be hard for us, isn't it?
Well, it was going to be hard, yeah, because we were going to talk about that bloody boat that went down. That's kind of bad news. But then it's also
Can we
getting...
talk about it lightheartedly?
Yeah.
Isn't it
We could
great?
laugh.
There might be one less billionaire in the world.
Well, do you know what's really... Yeah. But do you know what's really funny? Is that I told you about my dream that I had the other day.
Ross foresaw this.
Which was
Oh,
literally
yeah.
being trapped. I think you guys were there. We were trapped in a yacht.
Well, I
It was-
wasn't there.
it
It
was
was
about
just
to
a
go
dream.
It was a dream.
Yeah, carry on.
But
were we trapped in the yacht?
we were all in the yacht, man. Yeah.
Right.
We were going to go under. And so...
Did you wake up before?
Did you ever go?
I woke up before it actually crashed, but I think it was going that way. And then, yeah, like a week later, that news story of
So for
the
context-
unsinkable vessel, which I think the manufacturer of the boat has said it's an unsinkable body, which clearly isn't true, I suppose. But there's a lot of conspiracy theories around that now. Have you seen that? Because there's curiosity around this water spout that came out of nowhere. Is that like a twister in
they
water?
do tend to do that. Yeah.
You imagine they would do, yeah.
Yeah, water spouts are
And
literally
I was just
like
waiting around a corner.
current tornadoes
Yeah.
over water that pick up
Yeah.
water because it's more frequent at sea because of the way that I think the ocean affects the temperature of air.
Yeah.
Because obviously tornadoes are normally formed by a cold front of air and a warm front of air meeting each other. Whilst I imagine that happens more often over water because of the affects the ocean. So I don't think that's entirely uncommon. Water spouts.
I think that's what they're...
I think this was
they're
just very
saying it is
unlucky
what
and
it
it's
was.
become globally relevant because it's a billionaire and billionaires are essentially demigods.
Yeah, and also I think most of the crew survived, apart
Calm.
from one chef. So all the rich
one
people
chef
died.
survives.
All the rich people died.
Hell yeah.
So it depends on
I
whether
mean,
you
well, that's awful.
can either cheer that on or be indifferent
People
about it. I
died.
suppose like people died. Death is bad, but
Those who don't choose to be rich, you can feel bad for.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
think-
there's what was that film? Oh man, what was that film called? That you said it the other day.
What?
Richie
The
Rich.
one which is similar to it, where there's a crash
Yeah.
on a yacht,
Yeah.
and then a few of them wash ashore.
Ah, yeah.
And then the power
Yeah,
dynamic
yeah.
changes and the
I can't remember
crew-
the name of it. It's got Woody Harrelson in it as
It
a
does
drunk
have-
captain.
Yeah, and he talks about Marxism a lot in it.
Yes.
Fuck, that's going to annoy me.
Titanic.
It's not Titanic,
Star Wars?
but we can talk about the Titanic. That's a classic film.
Well, I've learnt about the
A
real
lot
Titanic.
of rich people died in that one too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's
Do you remember there was a notorious crewman that quite high up, I think an officer on the ship, that took up seats instead of offering it to women and children first.
Oh yeah.
He kind of just jumped on and then got like serious hate from all of England, basically.
Is this
the whole of England? Isn't that what they
The Titanic.
didn't they mimic that with
One of the survivors.
the main character, dude, the main villain, because he then put a little thing over his head and pretended to be a woman.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming that's the story they were referencing.
I think Bruce.
If that was true.
Maybe Bruce Ismay.
Did it even happen though? I mean,
No, yeah, because
Titanic.
yeah. Do we really know if it happened?
Oh, fucking hell.
I think we do.
Well, Ocean Gate was going to find out.
And guess what? Ocean Gate was,
It's a
scuppered.
conspiracy.
Scuppered just before they could. So do we really know? Is the world flat?
Or is there more a conspiracy? There's like a city down there that
Atlantis?
that ships can't get to. And if you try and
So glad
investigate, you get
mentioned Atlantis.
compressed.
Yeah.
I reckon that's probably it.
Yeah.
That or a sentient species of hyper-intelligent whales. Like a school of whales.
You think so?
School of Wales.
School of Wales.
Yeah.
No, they can't do
Really?
some shit over there.
Well, they're hyper-intelligent. Oh, Wales, the place. I was there yesterday.
Yeah, Trott wanted to watch some wrestling.
I had such a good time. I had a really good time watching wrestling. It was so much fun. I highly recommend going.
Who was your favourite wrestler?
They were all equal wrestlers in my heart, but Big Bill. This guy called Big Bill.
Right.
He's really big.
Is he?
He's in the... Can we get a picture of Big Bill up, Craig? Can you possibly do that for me?
The name of that film was Triangle of Sadness.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is a reference to at the beginning of the modelling agency, and they're talking about the part in the middle of the frown lines in the middle of your face as the Triangle of Sadness. It's like we could probably sort the Triangle of Sadness out.
Look at Big Bill.
Good God, Big Bill just booted that guy in the face.
Now a picture of Big Bill, who is just a... How tall is that man?
He's like 6'8", almost 7. But he's like fully in proportion. He's like a human scaled up.
Yeah.
He's like normal... Because like when people have like growth problems, hormone problems,
they often get
grow in all aspects, or they have problems. This guy's just fucking... Jeez. That guy on the left is enormous.
His arms are huge. This is steroid use we're seeing.
There's no way.
Big Bill on the right. That guy on the left, definitely steroids. That guy, yeah.
It just has to
He's got that belly bloat with the six-pack on top.
Oh, man. I want to be Big Bill.
Look how big Bill is.
Bill is big.
And he's a heel right now, which means he's a bad guy in wrestling. Yeah. But the rowdy English crowd that doesn't get the American show over in the UK that often, we were really hardcore chanting the people you're not meant to chant. And it was really fun. Like Big Bill was getting all the praise. Yeah. And he was like, shut the fuck up, telling us to stop. And that made us do it more. And it was very exciting. It's a great time. He's like, I'm meant to be the bad guy. He was loving it. It was a good time. I came away buzzing.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
Good.
Need a big wee though.
AEW.
What?
Need a big wee.
Did you have a mega glug?
Yeah. I had a pint.
You had a pint.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a pint.
Got Larry.
You got Larry.
Single pint.
Off single
the single pint.
A single pint.
Well, it's a starter, isn't it? You have that, then
not even.
Like, well, I'll only have two then.
And a moose bouche.
And then you're like, well, okay, fine. Someone's got me a third. And then it's fourth, and then
who knows what comes next?
The night's bloody gone.
Gone. Blacked out.
It's gone away.
I think I am a 4-pint person.
Pissing your pants and crying.
2 is like a really good level for me. And then after that, it's bad Trott comes out.
Bad Trott.
Reckless Trott. Trott that makes mistakes. Trott that bombs. Trott that decides to walk home. Or run home.
You gotta run.
Running
You're so fast.
A long time since I've run.
That's the thing. You feel so fast.
You do, and also it's a bizarre amount of energy for someone who's literally filled their belly with liquids. Time to fucking run as fast as I can,
like a gazelle. God, I feel like I'm flying.
And the thing is, we've all done it. But have you ever witnessed someone do it? I don't think I've ever witnessed somebody running free.
Wait, hold on.
Through the what are they saying? His height's 2 meters.
Someone's saying that someone's put in their wiki that their height is 2 meters tall.
2.08. Let's not discount the 0.8. That's a big.
What's a
big height.
With that?
Doesn't seem that tall.
They're 10 centimeters.
That
taller
doesn't
than
seem
I am.
that.
That's 6.
That doesn't seem that tall.
That's 10 centimeters taller than me.
6'8".
So
6'8" is big.
I just need to get bigger like him. Should I do some steroids? Not yet. Eventually.
You can do.
I don't think I want to do steroids.
Just do some.
I don't think that I would.
Do some live on Hat Chat.
I don't think I would benefit from messing with my hormones. I really don't.
You don't just put some more test in your body.
A bit more test.
Testosterone fueled.
Does that grow you?
Muscle growth, yeah.
Muscle growth.
Well,
you want to get taller,
I take human growth hormone. No, I don't want to get taller. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Would it make you lose your hair faster?
Yeah, potentially. Testosterone. It depends on which ones you take.
Shrinks the balls as well, right?
Yeah, there's lots of reasons to not fuck with your hormones. They're basically, you shouldn't do it.
There's probably a different drug though. You can inflate the balls again. So maybe you can inflate your balls.
Combo it.
So you literally just balance off.
But that's when you get to the point like these celebrities that die in their sleep from the medication they have to take to sleep. Because you've got to the point where everything about you is so medicated that you're just an input-output system. You're basically on life support.
Avoid sleeping pills.
What the Hollywood celebrities been put on? You know, they're like the superhero transformation.
What, Ozempic?
No, not the slimming one.
HGH, yeah, human growth hormones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all different kinds of steroids.
Special cocktail for the individual.
Yeah, and like this. I mean, they seemingly all reduce fertility. They all have downsides. They can make you more emotional. Make you a fucking nightmare. I'm already unstable enough without taking that stuff. But
you could be jacked as shit though.
I would be
you could be jacked and unstable. Unstable and jacked. That's what we want to be.
Everybody.
That'll make you
He's unhinged, but he's fucking jacked too. He's heavy, he's big.
I just saw him tore the door off that car.
He's ripping a Yellow Pages in half.
I'm so sad.
Can't find the number I want.
And you know what? That qualifies you
Uses
to be
Yellow
a
Pages.
great, memorable wrestler.
Oh, really? Okay.
Unhinged, unstable, and jacked.
Yeah, that's what we like.
He's sobbing all the time.
Yeah.
He's sad.
I'm just liberal
He
gun
just wants
laws
to
away from
fight
murdering
about
my
it.
whole family.
All right, HGH then. We'll do a mini doc series on us taking it before and after. We just take as much HGH as Chris Hemsworth.
Well, I have a friend who does it.
Give me the Hollywood dose.
The hormone. Well,
He's
the
always been
testosterone
big,
one.
though.
Yeah, but now he's even bigger.
How?
Just stronger. Doesn't have to go to the gym as often. Which I thought that you had to work harder to make it more.
But it's
pronounced.
the same.
But basically, yeah, like he says, it's.
I thought it allows you to
improves a
rep
lot of
more.
things. I think so. Yeah, it allows you to push yourself a
Harder.
bit further. Yeah.
It's a super drug. Apart from all
but
the
but the main
Yeah.
downside is the fact that he's got to inject himself like every week in the stomach.
Has he
Twice.
tested his fertility and his ball size?
doesn't
and
care, does
I
he?
don't
His
think he
balding.
Yeah, I don't think he
but-
cares, basically.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how badly it affects your fertility. Because I think there's different types of testosterone and steroids and stuff. So.
Yeah, there are.
I might
But
just,
you've seen all these subscription programs pop up suddenly on
Increase
Reddit
your
ads or wherever.
testosterone.
It's like, hey, all you have to do is just stick yourself in the stomach twice a week. It's like that alone.
seems quite horrible,
No,
doesn't
thanks.
it?
I don't want to
Yeah.
stick. I don't want to put needles in. me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting because it's part of a growing trend of, in the UK at least. I mean, I from what we can tell from the US, it's been this case in the US for a lot longer. But in the UK, more and more private clinics are offering access to certain medications. You still need a GP or something associated with like a doctor to
sign off,
get
yeah.
access to it. But yeah, you can do it if you pay for access. So like those testosterone treatments are ostensibly advertised to help, much like when women go through the menopause and things like that, you can have hormone replacement therapy to make that process less shit. Men are being offered it because testosterone naturally decreases over time. Men are being offered that ostensibly, meaning that's how it seems on the surface, but underneath there may be other reasons.
Get bigger dick.
To make themselves healthy again. But yeah, ultimately these services can be abused, and also there are other services. ADHD medication is one, for example, like medical marijuana is another one in the UK. A lot of people don't know you can get medical cannabis surprisingly easily. I don't necessarily think these are bad things, but I think these are things that need to be in the public discussion, because I think the first place they've come into the public discussion is in Instagram ads. Right, the first place a lot of these people see stuff is on Instagram, not in a more controlled public forum.
Just a shady.
It's not even shady. It's just the fact it's advertised to you immediately.
Right.
Like we haven't had the conversation around the fact that ADHD medication can be very effective for certain people and can be very ineffective for others. Also, it is a strong medication
It's pretty harmful, yeah.
that has big effects on people.
Basically Adderall, right?
And
Isn't there several?
Adderall is a form of ADHD medication.
Them,
yeah.
Also,
Ritalin branded, or is it?
Ritalin's another one. It also can be used as a study drug. For I knew people at uni and lots of people in very, very, very intelligent people in very competitive universities use ADHD drugs and have done for years to get better results on things. It does have its downsides, like ADHD drugs, make you lose weight, makes it really hard to sleep, lots of other things like that. But it has given them an edge in passing exams, which have then gone on to make their lives better, right? So really, you need to have a much wider conversation about, like, if you liberalize the use of drugs, be it weed to chill you out and to manage stress, be it ADHD medication to help you concentrate, to help you be an effective person if you have ADHD, or if indeed you want to do it to achieve a certain result. It's all about where you stand on the liberalization of drugs and whether you think that should lie with a personal responsibility or a responsibility that we sort of, vote on. But I think it's super interesting. And I wouldn't mind trying them all.
I'm curious about the concentration ones, because I was shit at concentrating at school, but I just also haven't bothered testing for anything. Like, well,
because ADHD is...
why would you?
ADHD is one of these conditions where it's a collection of behaviors more so than a necessarily like
specific
blood testable thing, right? Yeah, it's like, there may well be a gene that I don't know that makes you more likely to have ADHD or not. But yeah, ultimately, it is a collection of behaviors. And so you could be diagnosed with ADHD.
What if it gives me like a superpower? Like a magical superpower?
Has it? Have you got a superpower?
Well, I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
Oh, the drug?
Yeah.
I thought you meant the ADHD.
Well, I don't know if
that would then be suppressed by drugs.
Just, yeah.
So where do you stand on like liberalizing the conversation about drugs?
I think you can tell where I stand on
No, but yeah. I want to ask specifically, where does meth?
How casual? Because obviously, there's meth, but there's like, if I started like shooting up heroin in front of you, would you be like, well, that's just mundane and casual, so enjoy? Like, that's,
so obviously,
there's a line. Surely, obviously, that's an extreme example, but
I like it. We like extreme examples.
But here I was like, well, I'm just doing my thing.
Just liberal. It's just
it's legal.
Yeah,
so it's
everyone's
fine.
had a conversation about it. So
I guess, like, yeah, it's a good question because obviously some drugs are more destructive than others, and I think it's hard to argue the opposite. I think that you should have safe spaces for doing drugs. That seems to work well in countries that
comfy
have tried
armchair.
It. Like, well, I mean, literally, like some countries have safe drug environments, right? So where if you're a heroin addict, you go to this place, you inject using a clean needle. So it basically reduces the burden on society there in that, like, you're not getting further illnesses, which we then have to pay for through our taxes on the NHS. But also, things like that work well. But obviously, certain drugs are clearly so addictive and so destructive.
Far too moreish. Way too moreish.
Yeah, you need to keep people away from them. I don't know how you do that though, because is it state intervention? Or do you just hope that you raise every single person well enough to go, don't drop a needle in your arm, you're going to regret it, you know? Like, what do you do? What do you do? How do you do it?
I don't know.
You know?
Well, we clearly haven't solved it.
Down on the sugar addiction with
the sugar tax, yeah.
Because obviously it's not.
That's been in for a while.
It's not a killer
now.
in the same way that like heroin or crack could be.
I think it is working as well,
and it's probably not as addictive.
Like,
it's still tasty.
Finances are a big barrier to controlling things, and adding a sugar tax means restaurants won't buy as much of that product versus the zero alternative. And people will adapt to it.
So the problem with drugs and alcohol is that if you tax them too much, you create a black market. That doesn't seem to have happened so far with sugar.
No.
Because companies are producing sugar-free alternatives, I think, is probably why. Yeah. If you look at the reason why people choose Coke Zero now at McDonald's over regular Coke is because it's like an 80p difference, right? Like, and I think over time what will happen is that eventually McDonald's will stop serving regular Coke and everybody will just have Coke Zero. I don't, and then you'll find out in 10, 20 years time that whatever the hell's in Coke Zero is causing a different kind of problem that we'll then have to deal with.
If you saw some fucker like outside of McDonald's just pouring sugar into his drink.
Yeah? Did you?
Like, no, what if you did? And he's just like...
That happens with coffee and tea. It happens with coffee and tea.
But with a Coke Zero.
Yeah.
But then you're mixing sweeteners with sugar.
But they just want extra sugar.
Fucking hell.
They want the real sugar.
It's a hell of a hit.
Yeah.
Of sugarness.
I don't know. Like, I don't have the answers, but like, I used to think that just fucking legalize all drugs and see what happens. But I do understand now.
I thought Portugal did that.
They decriminalized, I believe. So decriminalization is the first step that I think needs to be done with all drugs. Absolutely. Like, decriminalization. You cannot be legally prosecuted for the consumption or possession of drugs.
It is funny how you're raised in fear of being dealt drugs, and then you realize no one's going to willingly give you free drugs in this society. Like,
well, yeah,
here you go, mate.
It's interesting because
they do with heroin and crack.
I guess they get you in.
But that's it. Yeah, they want you to get hooked, and then.
But for us,
you're stuck in the system. But like, I think it's one of the things where like when you are younger, they'd rather scare you than educate you, which I think is the most irresponsible thing you could have done. Is because peer pressure and all that stuff. You try something, but then you probably might manage it in a very different way because you were told that if you have an E pill, you're gonna fucking your head's gonna blow up or some shit, or your eyeball's gonna pop out your head. And it's like, well, no, you regulate it with make sure you're drinking water and don't drink too much alcohol. It's stuff like that where it's like you just aren't taught these things at school. Well, maybe they are now. I don't really know what the
and the tragedy comes there in that.
But I remember at school, like we had those fucking dramatic kind of videos.
Yeah.
Of
like
terrible
real scaremongering stuff.
It's just like, don't do it at all. Just everything's deadly. Just don't do anything.
Yeah.
It's shit.
And the tragedy comes when you take an unregulated drug that has something mixed into it, and that ends up killing a random 25-year-old.
It's like fentanyl or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
because we have an unregulated drug market.
And the opposite, obviously, is to have an amnesty, which that didn't work for the alcohol in America.
Abolition.
Abolition, sorry.
Yeah.
That was a terrible time for America, the abolition, and the speakeasies.
Yeah, I mean, culturally, quite exciting.
Interesting, yeah.
But
But like how hard the police cracked down on alcohol,
making booze,
and the proliferation of crime, and
I do.
gangs.
It frustrates me that we're still not taxing weed. That for me is a no-brainer. That's been tested. It's literally been beta tested in other countries.
Yeah.
And we're not doing
What
that.
do you think their fear is? Do you think they're like, everyone's just going to become weed-addled zombies? It's
I don't think it's fear.
because there's no issue in like Bristol's very like liberal
Prohibition.
in that, and people will openly smoke weed in places, and obviously some people hate the smell. That's fair enough. Like, I don't like the smell of smoking, but that's fine in places. So, but I think that's a good testament of the fact that not everyone's doing it, even though no one bats an eye. Police aren't fucking chasing you down, But occasionally you just hear these, things where they've found a haul of drugs somewhere, and then there's just like a big bust up, £42 million worth of weed found in a basement of someone's house.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Bristol's a good place to kind of see if it was legalized.
They tested
That's
us
kind
with
of like,
e-scooters
I
this
don't
time
imagine
for
it would be
weed.
much more than that.
My
Test with e-scooters.
They tested us with e-scooters
Yeah.
before they softly.
Yeah,
legalized.
test it in the more liberal places, see what really happens to the demographics, and just
My opinion is it isn't an election winning subject in the UK.
No, it's not. It's
Because
not
so few
important enough.
people under 40 or 50 vote. They would rather not upset the older electorate by introducing something that seems sort of a bit much for them, because they've been so indoctrinated about weed a lot of the time. Well, not all of them have. A lot of them grew up in the 60s. But I think that's probably why. I don't think they're scared of change. I think that they're just not
Trying to keep on
putting effort
voters,
into it.
yeah.
Yeah, they just don't put effort into it. And it sucks because it just means that people go to prison for weed still. I mean, it's very unlikely to be prosecuted to that
Or
extent
just if you're
now.
growing shitloads.
Yeah, growing
And
shitloads. Yeah,
Dealers,
but then... Yeah, and also the thing about weed as well is it's a little less dangerous than pills and powders, because if it's visibly identifiable, which is quite nice. You can get a piece of weed and go like, okay, this looks like a piece of flower, this looks like a piece of herb. Sometimes they can be sprayed with shit and you can kind of tell, but by and large, it's a visibly identifiable medium, which I think makes it a lot less dangerous as well. But anyway, yeah, who the fuck knows? How do we even get onto this?
I don't even
From
know.
Big Bill
No idea.
saying, did they use steroids?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we
See,
went-
that's another thing. Like, I think you should be allowed to use steroids and human growth hormone and stuff like that, as long as you sign a waiver that says you'll never burden your public health service with the decisions that you make based on this drug. Because things, there are a huge amount of knock-on effects from it. If you go and make a choice, which then everybody else has to pay for, I think that is bad, right? Like, that's the distinction here. It's the age-old distinction between personal responsibility, aka conservatism / republicanism in their most traditional sense, versus socialized responsibility, putting it on the state, big government, labor, the left-hand side of things.
Yeah, I don't understand some of that mentality. Obviously America likes to go on about communism.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the Republicans getting all fired about Dems and go, they're going to just turn you into a communist country. But then I don't know what I mean. What was somebody commented saying something like, why should I pay any extra to look after somebody else? It's just but your society, you want to fill your society with people who are just worse off and ill and sick around you, and you're just stomping on them until you need that help. It's just so dumb. It's such a weird, selfish mentality.
Well, that's the meritocracy / capitalism of America.
No,
Like,
yeah, I understand
they're
that, but
more
it's just
like that than Europeans are.
Yeah.
You know this. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
explaining this to you. I know you understand this. But yeah, ultimately,
It's just so bizarre seeing
it's
that.
the downside of their meritocracy. Yeah.
And it's like when you're in dire straits and you need help,
yeah.
you took that stance at one point. So
Yeah.
and it's just you don't deserve any help from anyone either. If that's
Yeah.
what you want, it's just stupid. It's just ignorance. It's just
I think
very bizarre.
It's because a huge amount of people have the capacity to take on the idea that you work hard, get paid, be successful. They don't have the capacity to take on the next sort of meta-analysis of that. Is I have become successful. I now have a responsibility to help others. And I think that that is a distinction. And I think we would see that as good or evil. I think it's about ethics. It's about morals.
Yeah,
It's
but
about
it's just the society you want to live in. Do you want to live in?
Oh,
a
yeah,
healthy,
do you want
happy,
fucking homeless,
progressive society that's actually all growing together and everyone's all happy, rather than surrounded by there's bloody homeless everywhere. Well, that's annoying me and really weird. But I would never help them. I'm not going to give them any money, and God forbid I pay a little bit more in taxes. seems just very odd.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if they were in need, they would be a hypocrite. Because they would be like, well, shit, I've just spent all my fucking savings on, hospital bills or some bollocks because America's weird like that.
The unfortunate truth about a lot of humans in general is until it happens to them, they can't
it's perspective,
wear other people's shoes.
Yeah.
They can't see the other perspective until it happens. They're like, oh, I've made a mistake my whole life. I haven't been paying my taxes, and now that I need taxes to fund my pension or whatever, or my illness for the NHS, now I understand it's too late.
What if there was a...
Do the honourable thing, Trott. Drive off that cliff.
What if there was like a perspective drug you had to take when you were younger? And it puts you in a perspective of all these various...
drug.
Yeah, or like a
That'd
simulator.
That'd be so useful, wouldn't
where
it?
it's like, okay, you now have to, pretend that you've literally lost everything, and all
That's
your,
your
all your family
national
are dead,
service.
you've got no money, and all this shit is happening to you. But now you have to experience it. It's going to feel real. So prepare yourself. And then...
That would be like the most valuable thing. It's one of the most sad things in the world, I think, that human beings do not possess the ability to do that.
Just empathy.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like
a level of empathy of just like, and kind of just going, oh shit, if I was in that situation, I would want help.
Yeah.
And it's not going to cost me a lot more in my life.
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Give a little bit back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't know why that's such a... I find it weird that people...
Because a lot of people feel like they are also hard done by.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, why should I give up when I'm already sacrificing a lot?
The comparison element of seeing people do well around you and stuff, and you're not doing as well.
People living paycheck to paycheck, etc. I don't have any extra to give back, blah, blah, blah.
So this is a really good point. And it's true. Those people are right. Like, this is something that guy was telling you about, Greg's Economics, which you guys should all check out. It's a English bloke, but he happens to... Sorry, I keep saying it is Greg. Gary's Economics. I keep saying Greg. Gary. His name's Gary.
Greg's.
It's Gary. Gary was a math genius from a working class background that became literally the most successful Citibank trader in the world at 22. He's got a YouTube channel and he talks about a lot of macroeconomic stuff, which obviously we grasp at, but we do our best. We're just the average men and we hear the average stuff like you guys do at home. But he talks about how ultimately all of this, if you have less than a few million in net worth, which is the vast majority of us, we basically shouldn't be arguing with each other. We are all victims of a system that is inherently unfair. And any time we ever try to tear each other apart, we are only helping the ones in power and in control to further their aims and better control us. I know that
it's hard to reach out that circle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You're
absolutely.
How do you access those people at the top? You don't, because they have creative ways to get away from.
And when in your life you have the very real experience of another person like you making your life fucking miserable or doing something that you feel is immoral or something you feel you should speak out on, you are not wrong in feeling the way you do or addressing it the way you do. But it is the unfortunate truth is the more that we are divided as people who are not multi-millionaires / billionaires, the more we are just further from ultimately what we all hope for, which is some form of equality. So
communism.
Huh?
So that is communism.
It's communism. If you want everyone to, have a nice house and a place to live and raise children and be hopeful for the future, that is communism.
Do you think we'll be alive when growth hits its peak point and
it already has, isn't it? Again, this guy, Gary, says that we've already, and several other big economists.
Gary said it. So
they've said, I found my new Jesus. They've said basically that we've already hit like economic stock market like highs. We don't think we'll see another, like the market conditions between the 90s and about 2020 before the pandemic were like the best it's ever going to be. And they don't think that it's ever going to.
It also kind of feels like predicting stocks though,
Yeah, which is literally his job. It's
staring at charts, man.
It is.
He has been correct.
Oh, absolutely. No, he's not infallible.
Astronomers have been.
Yeah. No, you're completely right. Not infallible. Yeah. Not infallible. And he's also very obsessed with being right as well. Obviously.
Yeah.
You can tell that.
It's got to be right.
He makes videos like he made some predictions in 2020 when the COVID was happening, and then he made a video like a few months ago going like my 4 predictions were right, and they were right. He was right, but he does like to make things about being right. Like he's clearly got a bit of a complex, but very interesting.
economics, bro.
Yeah, to an extent. But he quit because he felt like it was immoral, and then he started making YouTube videos to basically just tell people about how it all works and all the shit that goes on. He was going to leave Citibank, and he literally got threatened by one of the CEOs saying, like, if you go somewhere else essentially and give them your knowledge and talent, then that's going to be a big problem for us. We're going to go back through all your emails and find something you've done that's a little bit wrong, and then get you put in prison.
Oh my god.
He said, like, he's like, it felt like a mafia, and then after a while I realized they're essentially the same people. They're just the power brokers of now, as I'm sure you've learned from your books and shit like that, right? Like,
I don't write any books, but I've read a couple of books.
You've read you write
that,
your
that was about wealth. That was about
Broth,
wealth
right?
management, which Broth Publishings, Broth Publishings.
Broth.
Yeah.
No, I've read a couple of
Broth
books on like how the wealth hide their taxes and all this other stuff. And it's very creative, very interesting how they've done that, but also just it's mind-boggling because it's something that you would never really. It's not attainable for the average person, so it's just. Yeah, greed. And also just like some ridiculous cases where they'll get their wealth managers to hide murders and like other kind of insidious acts. Or like certain families don't want to talk to each other, so then they have to get this wealth manager to come in and... I don't know, it's just it's very interesting. But yeah, it's filthy rich stuff.
Just a different
That's why
world.
Succession is quite interesting because you see this element of this kind of like peeking behind the curtain of these uber wealth. Obviously that's not a documentary. We all know that.
Is it not?
But it's representative.
But it's representative of like, kind of these stupidly rich people just, lavishly living their lives.
That's one of my favorite TV shows ever.
It's great, yeah.
It's got to be top 5. It's an amazing, amazing TV show. And the characters are great.
You said that about Shogun.
I think so. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, well, surprise,
So which
surprise.
is it? Yeah, which
TV's
is
actually getting better.
Which
Top
is it?
5.
Pick a side.
Shogun is my favorite, like, Asian thing ever.
Bad Monkey shit. Well, I saw one episode, the only episode
Bad
that was
Monkey.
available. That was on Apple TV with Vince Vaughn, and he's just kind of a bit dusty now. I just don't think he's got the same charm that he did when he was in Wedding Crashers. I fucking love Wedding Crashers. That's a great film.
It's a good film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
Wedding
good film.
Crashers is fucking classic.
Yeah.
I fucking love Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, Wedding Crashers. Old School, was he in that as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's lost, obviously he's older now. He's lost a bit of that pizzazz, a little bit, so he just seems a bit...
He needs to morph
doddery.
a bit, change his character a little bit to suit his
God,
age.
Old guy.
Yeah. But it got really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, so I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know.
The Tomatomator is working against me.
Don't call it that.
I don't... Yeah, sometimes I just watch stuff and I'm like, this is fucking garbage. Why is everyone like this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah. I don't know.
I also like very
it's the children who
occasionally
are
the
wrong.
mainstream American audience or the mainstream English audience like gets into something and they're like, this is incredible. And you're like, no, it's not, guys. Like, this isn't...
That's so snooty.
But like, honestly, but that's
The
how it
general
works, right?
population are into this.
Of course.
But it's pretty...
It's like it's designed to be like consumed, right? Like, and I have a lot.
Deadpool
I have a
Wolverine.
lot of time to consume media, and I guess I've decided. I don't know. I just decided to engage brain. I guess. I can't describe it any.
I
other
don't
way.
trust the Tomatomators though now.
No.
I never have.
No.
Because...
But sometimes you'll see it and it's like, 6%. That seems really fucking
like
shit.
Smith said, like the critics...
Do I watch
this? They get like a weird angle on things that the general population wouldn't even consider or care about. And it all goes a certain way. And then, it just... Again, also, I can't trust the general population opinions on anything.
Yeah.
Also, it's like some
It's
people
very
like,
subjective.
People really attach to like identities within shows as well, or within the actors' identities within films or shows, where they're like, "Oh, I love this person," and I've never really been that kind of person. So,
Did you watch that Acolyte series? That's been cancelled.
Yeah.
Series 2 I don't know what. All I've seen is memes of it being really shit.
Right.
Not liking it and saying, I
I've
can't
just-
believe this is the lore of Star Wars now. But
we are
like,
so far from the original vision of Star Wars now. I think it's hard to complain. As a guy that's complained,
yeah.
it's just different. What Disney's done with all the Star
Yeah,
Wars
I just
shows,
haven't kept
apart
up.
from Andor, has been just shit.
Can we all... I think we can all collectively agree it peaked with Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks is prime.
And then since then,
Yeah.
downhill.
Yeah.
They haven't given him a spin-off series, have they?
Why haven't they? Not even for comedy reasons. Is it because they're worried it'll be lore and they'll be like, Jar Jar Binks is uber popular now? What if he becomes like extremely popular? And everyone's like, we want Jar Jar to have his own, he will be the main character, and they'll be in the Gungan subs, and in, where was that again? That was
Naboo.
Naboo.
Was it?
I think so.
Naboo's
They
a
put their little
planet.
rebreathers in, which are amazing. These
Oh,
little,
so good.
which just are like pens.
And they didn't have to worry about decompression sickness, did they?
Perfect. It was absolutely fine. That's amazing. That's a perfect way to travel underwater.
So tiny.
Just swimming. And they all wore very flowing,
Yeah,
like,
and they're perfectly dry when they come out.
caped
Yeah.
outfits.
Yeah.
And they're just swimming through, and then they just walk into this kind of
Bubble
that just seals.
cleans them.
Amazing.
What I
Dries
loved
them
That's
out.
fantasy.
What I loved
That's
about the
good.
prequels is they made the Jedi seem so adaptive and so proficient, and that, in my opinion, is exactly what they should be. And so for me, like, the prequels weren't even that bad from that perspective. Like, there were some terrible elements to it, but I think it actually it maintained a cool vibe. The problem with this is, like, I watched a bit of The Acolyte.
I quite
Oh, yeah.
like
I
the
didn't-
blockade storyline, actually. I'm
I
glad
was-
they started with that
Yeah,
and
glad
talked
they-
about it a lot.
It was heavy,
Yeah.
politics heavy for something that I think I watched as a
Yeah.
as a child.
It's a lot.
I
Just
did
get to the
glaze
jewel of
over
fate
some of it.
bit.
Yeah.
And
to
pod
Darth
racing.
Even at the beginning of like
Pod racing.
Pod racing was iconic.
pod racing was amazing.
And it sounds
I remember the Lego pod racing
amazing.
kits.
Yeah.
They were great.
They're so good. Like,
And then Sebulba. And Watto, whatever his name is. Yeah.
What?
oh, that was Watto. Who's Sebulba?
Sebulba was a creature inside, I don't know.
Oh, he was like
in
the
it,
podcast champ, wasn't
but
he?
he kept like, he wasn't a podcaster. He was a pod
race
racer.
champ.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Pod racer, and he would slam into the other ones. And that also was a good N64 game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
was
was
Squad.
really
No,
good.
that's not Squadrons. Squadrons is the new one.
No, yeah, it was pod racing.
Pod
Yeah.
racing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, and there was even a an arcade machine where it had like
Oh yeah,
you could actually like have
ride a
the
thing.
handles and stuff. Fucking
The other
great.
game which was annoyingly difficult but like quite iconic was the Phantom Menace.
Yep,
That's great.
really
That
good
was
game.
a really good game.
I used to play the intro over and over again, where you had the
Yeah.
droidica in the ship hallway. Yeah, Really
It's
cool.
just, yeah, really basic, but like
they got the animations of like knocking a bolt back. I remember you'd
Yeah.
like kill a droid, and they get the really good like, and then the droid would go like,
yeah. It
like,
was pretty cool.
it's just like the films.
For a PS1 game.
Yeah.
it was pretty good. It was
Yeah.
up there. But I remember getting to a specific level that was just really fucking annoyingly hard. I feel like that's yeah. That's
was it when
probably
you
a
were in the
testament to,
Gungan
like,
sub or not? Remember when we all had
no,
to
I
run
think it
through?
was in one of the palaces, and there was just like so many fucking enemies that it just got exhausting. But
Was it the one where
I haven't played
Darth
in
Maul turns up
many,
when they're trying to evacuate Amidala? Maybe.
maybe I can't remember now.
Amidala.
It's like the Lion King
Oh,
game on
Amidala.
PC. Did you play that?
Yes, I fucking
That
did.
motherfucker was a
What was
bitch
on
to fucking
Mega
play.
Drive as well.
Like some of the hit points of like where you jump on certain pads, you wouldn't bounce on, unless you're in a very specific
Fucking
position.
The worst. Going
As
up
a
those
platformer.
giraffe necks and shit.
Those
Fuck
giraffe
that.
necks. Oh my god.
The worst.
Did you tell? We weren't on the podcast when you were talking about trying to break into the computer to play Leisure Suit Larry, were we?
Oh yeah, no, we weren't. No, that was Leisure Suit Larry. And Leisure Suit Larry on PC, my dad had it on floppy disk. That's how old it was. And to get into the game, you have to answer historical
So Leisure
American
Suit
questions.
Larry was these games from years ago
Yeah.
that kind of had like a pervy, kind of sexy
It's
spin
like
to
softcore.
Softcore, kind of like this perv. You play
It's
this
like a
pervy
stick
dude
man,
that was
man.
trying to like
It's- yeah.
creep into hot tubs and stuff. Really weird. But this was at a time when like GTA was coming out, and like everyone was like, "Oh my
hit
god,
the
this
news.
violence and
Yeah.
like killing all these
Top
like
down
yeah."
GTA.
Yeah.
So anyway,
but like
yeah.
to access the game, you would have to answer questions like, "Oh, what was the 17th president of the United States?"
Yeah.
And it's like, "What the fuck?" Like as a
Things only adults would know.
7-year-old, 8-year-old, you're like, well,
With
I
no
don't-
internet
I don't.
access.
Yeah, internet wasn't a thing. You're like, I don't know how to get into this 18-rated game. And then when you do eventually get into it, just by kind of if you keep reloading it, it gives you different questions. I couldn't do the president ones because I had no fucking clue, but the other ones I could find a way through. Well, I think some of them were multiple choice, which made it even easier.
Nice.
But then once you got through, it is just this little pixelated like stick man, and like you would occasionally go into a toilet, and I don't even know what he did. It wasn't anything like. It was just weird. It was just like, and it's like, what is this game? And then you just get bored of it. Like, this is shit. Can't believe I had to do a quiz to get into this game.
The quiz was more fun.
The quiz was probably more of a learning element.
So
if
who
anything.
is
I
the
learned-
17th president? of the
I
United
don't
States?
actually fucking know. I mean, one of them there was an answer which was Abraham Lincoln. I can't remember what the actual context of the question was, but it was an interesting way to get into a game, and maybe we should bring that back to stop the kids
I
from.
think people could Google it quite easily, Ross. We've got the
What if they
internet now.
create like maths puzzles that you can't Google? I guess ChatGPT does everything for you now.
There it is. This is the questions.
So you found the questions.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, throw us a question.
I've just found a YouTube video which is Leisure Suit Larry.
Oh, nice.
Just someone playing through it about
Someone
a
said
minute in.
Andrew
It's-
Johnson. Is that the 17th?
This YouTube channel's Major Thriftwood. And about a minute in,
Warning: Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards contains content that may not be suitable for children.
The Land of the Lounge Lizards. I mean, what was it? What is the context? What's the blurb of that game? Leisure Suit. Are you reading it?
How old are you? 99. This game
guy
maybe
put-
has just to those with heart conditions.
What
Warning.
year was this out?
That's what it says after you put 99 in.
So this is 1987. It was available on the Apple II,
Yeah,
Atari ST, Apple
Yeah,
II
this is
GS,
early.
MS-DOS, Amiga. Classic
Joe
Mac.
DiMaggio played A, pool, B, baseball, C, basketball, D, trumpet.
Baseball, I think. Would I have got?
Oh,
Leisure
right,
Suit
I
Larry?
see. So it does give you multiple choice, yeah.
Oh, I didn't choose.
Who was banned from Saturday Night Live because he lost a telephone pole. Christ.
Here we go. I found the blurb for it.
Calvin Klein is...
Married to Brooke Shields, a movie star, a clothing designer, president of the Coarse Gold Chamber of Commerce.
But 1 minute
God,
17.
that's
Craig.
weird.
1 minute
Pickup
17.
line is
That's interesting because the blurb here says the game story follows its player character of a middle-aged male virgin named Larry Laffer.
Oh, there he is. It's 2 minutes
Laughin'
10
Larry.
in. It's, he's in.
That's Laffin apostrophe. Laughing. Just so you know.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it looks like the original Monkey Island. is
And
what
he
it looks
desperately tries to get lucky in the fictional American city of Lost Wages. Land of the Lounge Lizards establishes several elements which recur in the later Leisure Suit Larry games, including Larry's campy attire, perpetual bad luck with women, and penchant for double entendres. The game's overall plot and basic structure follow that of soft porn adventure, Sierra's own 1981 Apple II text adventure that did not feature Larry. Never saw my dad play this game. So I don't know if it was just like
had
a
it.
joke thing that it like passed around the office or some shit.
It
But
might
like,
have been.
it looks shit. And it's just like how you could even the pornography element of it's just lacking. Although I think there was a single image, like it's ASCII. It looks ASCII basically, but of just a woman with her tits out.
That's
Which is quite a shock, isn't it?
that's
Your
the
old
end
boy,
game.
like whoa.
It's the titillation, isn't it? It's
Whoa,
the
there's boobs.
titillation. It's like in The Witcher when you get those cards that have like the you know in The Witcher where you get like the cards of the hot
The
ladies.
Gwent cards.
The Gwent cards. Are they hot ladies in that one, or is it in the second
think
one they're
so.
hot ladies? In at least two of the Witcher games, the first and the second, you would find cards dotted around the world that had erotic drawings of characters from
Right.
within The Witcher, and like it was kind of like a ooh nice card kind of
Oh
thing.
my God.
And I think it's just this just plays in that, right? Of just people like nerds at home just wanting to be a little bit titillated.
Well, listen to this. The plot here. The protagonist
titillation.
Larry Laffer is a 38-year-old, 40-year-old in the 91 remake, loser who lives in his mother's basement and has not yet lost his virginity. Having grown weary of his lonely existence, he decides to visit the resort city of Lost Wages, which is a parody of Las Vegas, hoping to experience what he has not lived before and to finally find the woman of his dreams. It's 40-year-old virgin in a game.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't really play the game.
Well, now you know everything you could ever know.
But, I mean, they've made sequels.
Yeah.
Fairly modern sequels as well. It's like, what?
It must have a following of
So-
some kind.
Well, so did that sex expert guy.
Yeah, Seducer.
The super seducer.
yeah.
It's kind of that again.
That's
isn't
kind
it?
of died
I
off,
guess so,
thankfully.
Not before
The
they made
last
4
game here.
fucking games with like
Yeah.
real VT for each of them.
Well, the last game they made here was 2020. Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Dry Twice. Fucking hell.
Wet Dreams died.
Yeah, the one before that is called Wet Dreams Don't Dry. So obviously they're taking on like a James Bond-esque
Yeah.
title structure here. Leisure Suit Larry, box office bust. Leisure Suit Larry, magna cum laude. Love for Sale was one of them. Shape Up or Slip Out. It's just all puns and sex jokes.
That's probably
So-
the best part of Leisure Suit Larry.
That's probably it. Yeah, you're
the
just,
titles.
you're just there for the sex jokes. So it's
Yeah.
fair enough, you know. But
Oh, here he
interesting.
is in his new art
Leisure
style.
Suit
2D
Larry.
still. It looks like the
It's
newer.
awful, man.
Monkey
What is that?
Island.
It looks like fucking Carmen San Diego shit, man.
So
Remember
it's,
Carmen San Diego?
Yeah. Where in the
Where
world?
on earth? Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
it's a classic like point and click adventure.
Yeah, like you say, it looks like Monkey Island.
Yeah, it's a point and click adventure with sex puns. Naughty. Very naughty.
Very naughty indeed.
But that's ultimately what we have time for today. We've
Yeah.
done the breadth of talking about wrestling to drugs to
Money.
money,
The state of the economic crisis.
capitalism, socialism, To Leisure Suit Larry.
And finishing
Leisure
nicely,
Suit
landing
Larry,
gently with a Leisure Suit Larry.
Very
I could end it on
soft
spiders
landing.
if you want. There's a spider story.
Oh yeah, the spider story. Yeah.
Just saying,
The
giant
spider
spiders
story.
the size of rats are making a comeback in the UK after nearing extinction.
Oh, good.
They don't worry, they only eat fish.
Fish.
Yeah.
They eat fish.
Yeah, there's a picture of one on a little kind
Pond? Are they
of
like pond spiders?
Yeah, like a pond spider just eating fish.
Do they dive?
I don't know if they do.
Or are they just on the surface?
They kind of just, there's like an image here if you're
What's the
watching
name
it.
of the spider?
It is, it's called
Gary.
I've seen one like that.
It's Gary, yeah. It's a fen raft spider and lurks in the UK's wetlands. But yeah, they
And
were
they can be the
almost
size
extinct,
of
so they're
rats.
coming back. So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Too many
affect
fish,
humans.
innit?
Don't worry. Yeah, like.
Too many fish.
But you would be fucking scared if you saw me. But whoa,
Sorry
Jesus.
if you're
It's a rat-sized.
arachnophobic. If there's
yeah, but it's
image
like
on screen.
they're out there, guys. So if you do see one, it's probably not going to bite you or anything, but be pretty freaky.
Unless you're a
It'd be
fish,
interesting to see.
Unless you're a
wouldn't
fish, yeah.
you're fucked.
Are you a fish?
You'll find out if you get bitten by one of those spiders.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though. That
Yeah.
There's a spider that's evolved to eat fish. That's cool.
Yeah. Fussy, if anything.
it? Fussy, yeah.
Fussy.
Because, you're normally eating just flies, little ones,
Yeah.
just
Not enough.
normal flies, and now they're just
No,
like
I'll have a large fish.
plucking-
I'll have a whole fish, please.
Yeah, I have one cod. A bad cod, please.
Bad cod. I saw one
No,
down.
leave the chips.
Queuing up for the chicken. It's just a fucking giant spider there.
Jesus, there's a rat-sized spider ordering a cod. Giant
a
cod.
haddock and chips, I think he ordered.
No, they pluck
Anyway.
it straight out of there. It's all good. Anyway, yeah.
Thanks for listening today.
Thank you
Very much for our
very much.
Patreons, our
Oh,
Twitch
our
subscribers,
big
and our
supporters.
YouTube members
Yeah.
for supporting
Big up
this
to you.
podcast. We hope you enjoyed it today.
You get credits at the end of the video version of this, and also there's an ad-free version on Patreon,
Yeah.
which you can enjoy. And you can all collate together, patrons, YouTube members, and Twitch subscribers on our Discord,
That's good, isn't it?
discord.gg/hatfilms. If you link that account to your Discord, you get access to the Scrubscribers channels and
Yeah.
Scrub announcements,
That's
where
good.
we release things like Crockerman and Hatterday Live.
Which we did last week, which
Yeah.
went really well. We were very happy with how that went. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it if you did watch it.
It's up for 30
You can
days.
still watch it now. Yeah, if you become a member or Twitch sub or patron, you can watch those.
Yeah,
So,
and it's up a bit longer than 30 days from Hatterday Live because
yeah.
we re-uploaded the Patreon version.
Mm.
To
And also
fix
with
this thing.
Crockerman.
And
Tell people
Crockerman,
about that.
every week from Saturday, a new episode of a live actual play is what it's called, where basically collaborative storytelling like Booty, if you've watched that one, but set in the world of our dystopic future where Elon Musk is an egomaniac billionaire that owns a mega corporation, and he's messing with the brain with Neuralinks, and
And what does that D&D feature?
it features
Such as Tailspire, etc.
Yeah, it's a lot of visual elements, a lot of sound effects and music, a lot of production has gone into it. We've got a full-blown set.
That's, yeah.
So we've put a lot into this, and it's all thanks to our members. So it's a members-only series as of now, and it's going out right now for members weekly. And Craig is also in it
Yep.
As a character.
First
And
episode is free. You can watch that to see if you want to watch the rest. So give it a try.
Yeah.
What's that, an hour long?
Yeah, it's an hour long,
Yeah.
so if you want to try it out, see if you like it, the rest of the series will be for members.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Sweet. And regular content will be going out. So all the free stuff is still there.
indeed.
It's all there.
Thank you so much for listening, for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, good luck,
Goodbye.
and stay frosty.
Bye-bye.